Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today is a brand new Forgotten Spider-Man Rogues episode and I hope you enjoy. The Looter or the Meteor Man, he has gone by those two names, but I call him the Looter most of the time. A small-time loser villain, Looter has had some surprisingly cool moments and a nice costume. He used to be a threat to Spider-Man and not just a joke rogue who gets beaten off page. But wow, in the future they completely massacre him. The Meteor Man first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man issue 36, May 1st, 1966. One day, a meteor lands on Earth and the man picks it up to inspect it, hoping to make a fortune. The man does tests with it, and when he opens up a gas chamber hidden in the meteor, it busts open in his face and gas seeps into his skin. He soon realizes he now has super strength and powers that let him do anything he wants, so he becomes a criminal. The Looter fulfills his bank-stealing plans and with ease, with wearing a costume he just threw together. Eventually, he runs out of gas from the meteor he can use because the power he gets from the gas wears off after a while, so he needs to steal another one. When he tries to steal one from a museum, Spider-Man arrives and fights him. The Looter has a parachute backpack which he tries to fly away from the webhead with, but Spider-Man easily captures him without powers and hands him to jail. Next was 9 years later in Marvel Team-Up issue 33 and 34, May 1st and August 1975. Looter is stuck in prison and gets laughed at by his cellmate since he's used to have powers, but now he's back to being a nobody. When he gets mad, his powers return to him and he escapes. He sees Spider-Man one night and jumps him. He keeps beating up on him until it looks like Spider-Man's out. But then the next day, Spidey's back and Looter does it again. Spider-Man and his partners manage to send him crashing into the ground, ending his story here. Then he was in Defenders issue 63 and 64. Here, Looter is just included in a giant team-up of villains, and gets taken out by Iron Fist. Next, he was in Spectacular Spider-Man issue 41. The Looter, aka Norton G. Fester, is back to crime and stealing components for a power pack. The pack will increase his strength so that no hero can stop him ever again. He gets all the components needed, and the meteor power transforms him into a giant bigger than Giant Man. But the energy gets too much for Norton to handle, and it rockets him up into space, where he explodes and apparently dies. Next was Web of Spider-Man issue 39. Norton has survived that explosion a decade ago, but is now a homeless man, but still commits robberies. Recently, he has stolen Peter Parker's Aunt May's watch, and when Looter tries to pawn it, Spider-Man shows up and realizes he was the one who stole from his aunt. Norton runs away to his car, then grabs out his old Looter costume to fight Spider-Man in. He tries to steal Aunt May's van with the loot he has, but Spider-Man comes in to stop it. The fight goes well for Spider-Man, and realizing that this guy is really the Looter's return, he fights him with all of his power, almost killing him, but doesn't. He was then in Amazing Spider-Man Annual 26. He was in a short adventure. Spider-Man sees Looter on a building with a new ray gun, and Spider-Man reminisces on all of his actual battles with his greatest enemies, and that Looter doesn't measure up. It's a pretty cool short story, and Looter at the end just gets webbed to a wall. One time, he made trouble for the Scarlet Spider, but that's not too big. He came back for a story in Sensational Spider-Man issue 8. The Looter is living the good life now, but still has to steal for his lifestyle. To do so nowadays, he has stolen supervillain tech from a bunch of other loser-forgotten supervillains in Marvel. Ben Reilly's Spider-Man is the hero at this time and easily takes Looter down like the chump he is. He was the villain in Amazing Spider-Man issue 590. Kind of, because Meteor Man is seen as Spider-Man has already stopped him and webbed him into a wall. He was in the mobile games Marvel's Ultimate Alliance or Avengers Alliance and Spider-Man Unlimited, but I can't find any good pictures and I think he was just an Easter egg. His final big story to date was in Amazing Spider-Man Big Time issue 4, which can be found in Amazing Spider-Man issue 653. Meteor Man is taken hostages and is looking for a hidden meteor under the building. Spider-Man and Power Man bust in through the roof and start fighting him. He eventually does get to his prize, but it all backfires on him. His very last appearance was in Amazing Spider-Man 2014 issue 9. The writers brought Looter back one last time to have him be an entertaining foe for Spider-Man to beat at the start. Looter is a very fun rogue for me to look at. Throughout his stories, he's never had one good moment on page. I wish someday a writer brings him back for a giant final story, or maybe something like they did with the rogue Mindworm. He is a very powerful foe, and a good rogue to use in more down-to-earth moments from the comics. If only he was in bigger stories, maybe he wouldn't be so laughable. Luthor had an interesting idea for the reason he turned into villainy, and in the Web of Spider-Man story it was even more inspiration, but after that he was kind of your typical loser rogue with one set of powers. And yes, the title of this video is The Looter, since he calls himself that. With that said, thanks for watching the last Forgotten Spider-Man Rogues episode of the 2010s. Bye guys, and have a great day.